My Nest Hub Max is here and I'm ready to get it opened up, set up, and to show you some of these new features you're going to get with this giant smart display from Google. Hello Automators, thanks for tuning in again. I'm Brian from Automate Your Life, and today I'm going to take the frustration out of automation by showing you the brand new Nest Hub Max from Google here, show you how to get it set up and some of the ins and outs of working with this device. Let's get going. So first up, I'm just going to get the box opened up here. Physically, this is a very, very large smart display. You can see the packaging is relatively minimalistic too. It's not bad at all here what you're getting. So I'm just gonna lift it out, set it on the table. Okay, so I got it opened up there. It took me a little bit, but there's some cue cards here basically to get you started. The full-size adapter here with a cable that is very nice at this point, and of course the very large smart display. Now, if we just kind of stack these two up next to each other, I'm gonna move them a little bit here, but as we stack the two up, I mean, there's no comparison here between the two devices. There is a significant size difference. Okay, now I've set my Nest Hub Max up and it's ready to plug in, and we're gonna get through the setup process here. Let's get going.
Hi, to get started, download the Google Home app on a phone or tablet.
So I'm going to start in an iPhone, but you could start with an Android device as well. Now, once you go into the Google Home application, which you will need, if you don't have a new account or an account already synchronized, you will have to sign up for one. I've already done that. And once you've done that, you will come to this screen and see set up one device at the top. Now, if you don't see that, the button add is down at the bottom here that you can go ahead and utilize to add this device. Now, I'm going to hit the set up one device, and you're choosing the home that it's being added to. Now, if you're just creating an account, that will show up right here. So we're going to hit next, and it's looking for the devices. Now, what it oftentimes does is finds this right away, but you will need Bluetooth turned on your device and Wi-Fi turned on, and make sure you're connected to your own Wi-Fi network that you want to use to connect to this device. That's the best way to get started here. Now, I'm going to tap on the Nest Hub Max. You can see the name EF61 there, and I'm going to hit next. Now, it's making a connection between my phone and the Google Home Max or the Google Nest Hub Max here. Next up, you're going ahead and confirming that you see the same code between the two devices. So this is making sure that you're setting up the right device. Now, I'm going to also say no thanks to helping improve the Nest Hub Max. This is just Google trying to gather some statistics if there are ever problems. Now, I get this notification because I'm up in Canada, but you're probably not going to see that. But keep in mind that this connects to a 2.4 or a 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi network. And so if you don't have that in your country, you're not going to be able to utilize this device. Now, they want you to pick the room that the device is in, and for now I'm going to select my basement office because it's going to sit here for a while as we go through more and more tutorials here about this device, and also a full-fledged review and comparison. Now, I'm choosing my Wi-Fi network, and you can choose the different ones if you have a couple. I'm choosing my 5 gigahertz network here. You can see the name of it. And I would normally have to put in my Wi-Fi credentials, but I've already done that here with my Google account. This is what comes up if you're not physically on your phone or your tablet, whatever you're using to set up the device. If you're not on that same Wi-Fi network, you actually get this prompt. So you need to go and switch over to that Wi-Fi network on your phone or tablet. So make sure that you do that at the start, or you just will get this kind of a notification. Now, what it's going to do once I go back into the application is it's going to go ahead and finish this connection process. Now, as this device is going through an update process, as soon as you've made that connection, it's going to do an update. And what you're going to do is continue setting up the Google Assistant portion of this device. Now, we're going to hit next here. This is some terms and services about privacy, and you will want to read some of these things, but we're basically making sure that it can answer us. Now, we're talking about the display's camera, and this is something new to the Nest Hub Max. There is a built-in Nest camera on on this device. So there's some new things to go through here. One of the cool new features is actually some gestures, and there's also camera facial recognition features that Google has put onto this device. So do we want to use these? At this point, I'm going to say yes, just so you can see that setup. Now, the next component is called Voice Match, and this really personalizes a lot of the results that you get from this device. And this means you can access things like your contacts, your calendars, and more personalized information that is specific to you. Now, what I'm going to tell you is you're going to want Voice Match, and although I've already done it, you can see it's already recognized my voice. You will want to go through the 4 things you have to say to the device, which is essentially the wake word 4 times here. Now, the next component is Face Match, and this is a new component because of the onboard camera. You have to go ahead and accept the terms and conditions around this. So now the Google Home application is asking to access my camera here, and they want me to hold it at face level. And you can see they kind of made me go back and forth a couple of times there. By the way, they tell me I look great, in case you guys didn't know that. So now what they're doing is creating the face model. My Google Home, or my Google Nest Hub Max, has gone ahead and finished its update, so it's basically waiting for us at this point. Now, personal results is again another component for you to be able to go and get things like calendars and reminders, contacts. You can see the messages, notifications, and personal results, which we'll see more and more as we go through owning a device like the Nest Hub Max. So again, I would recommend that you allow personal results on this device, or you severely limit the capabilities. Next up is our address. Go ahead and enter that in, and it will help you with navigation and localized services or localized results. Now, the next thing is music services, and I've already gone ahead and linked mine. In many countries now, you can get YouTube Music, which is free. You can see I have a premium membership active already on that, so that gives me access to that entire service, and you will have other services in the list here based on your country. You just hit that plus there if you want to add a new account. Now, I'm already done that, and what I'm going to do is choose my default music service. Now, I still have a lot of music on Google Play Music, so I'm continuing to use that, but you could go ahead and switch between which service you want to use when you just ask your Google Nest Hub Max to play music. Now, one of the nice features with the camera is the ability to do video calling, and they do this through Google Duo in most countries. So you're going to likely have this screen come up. If not, you may not be able to actually do video calling, but go ahead and try. And what they're going to do, because I've already linked my phone number to this, I don't have to do anything else. But at this point, you would have to link a Duo account, which is basically a phone number. And if you don't have that, you can actually stop here in the middle of the process, switch over to Google Duo, or go get that application, sign up for an account, put your phone number in, and it will allow you to set that up all in one seamless interaction here. Now, if you don't do that, you can always add this later, so it's not a major concern. Next up is ambient mode, and this is one of the best features of any smart display from Google. You can go ahead and you can choose from a number of different photo services here. You can see the Google Photos or the Art Gallery, or there's a full screen clock. Now, I'm not going to use my own personal photos right now, but you can go ahead and pick a full screen clock from a number of different options that they have here right off the bat, and go ahead and install that on the device. Now, they're saying we're almost done, and they're kind of going through all the different services or all the different things that we've set up. Now, if you're in the US, you will also have gotten an option to set up video, and a few other countries here will get an option to set up video services that I just did not have on this device. So that's something, again, that you can go ahead and add in account credentials just like the music services, and you will be able to call up those services on this device. So now I don't need to bore you with this stuff, but there are some controls here. The mic and the camera switch on the back of the device. There's also volume controls on the side, And there's also another way to just turn off the camera. So I'll show you guys that here as we go through a bit of a demo of how this device works. So I'm going to start with one of the new cool features here from Google, and that's face recognition. And so just as I enter into the space, you can see the little icon pop up there that indicates it knows it's me. Now there will be little information there. I already saw my commute, but did manage to catch that on screen. However, it already knows who's looking at the device. Now what this does for us is it also starts the interface in terms of saying it's just for you. Now what you can see is top stories for you. Google Play Music is really customized to things I've been listening to lately. And you will also find the same thing on YouTube, and recipes. It will learn you over time. So this is very important. It also works with voice match, but this is very important. Now over at the very end, you can see that I can explore more things the assistant can do.
You can say, "What's the weather?" or play 97.9 FM.
Now, one of the most interesting features of this is gesture control. So I'm going to show you when we start a timer, the fact that you can stop it from ringing with just your hand. So set a timer for 10 seconds.
Okay, 10 seconds. Starting now.
Now you do have to wait for the timer to end, but once it is ringing, simply putting up your hand will actually stop this timer from alarming, or same thing with alarms. So you can see the little indication right there. This is the same gesture to actually start and stop music as well. And you can also stop in the middle of calling up the Google Assistant. So you can see it stopped it again. So if you've accidentally woken this up or you've decided that you don't need it, then you can just do that and it will stop. Now, of course, you can go ahead and start and stop YouTube videos as well as music. So show the most recent video on YouTube from Automate Your Life.
Here you go.
You could go and read any old smart home devices list, but today, hello Automators, thanks for tuning in again. I'm Brian from Automate Your Life, and today I'm going to play the latest album from the Black Keys. So you can actually see how you can manage music playing here through your hand and all those gestures. You don't actually have to wake up the device, and that's very important because the device is very powerful from a speaker perspective. Now, of course, you can also go ahead and make phone calls as well as answer phone calls. There's video calls, and I'm going to show you a quick demo on that. Hey. Okay. Whoa. It's moving, isn't it?
What's moving? The camera.
Watch the camera.
Yeah, it's zooming in on you and moving around.
Hey, look at me up here. Oh.
Wow. Yeah, it followed you.
And I can switch, so I'm just like tapping. Inside this screen, you can see the ability to check the weather, play radio stations, audiobooks, all those kinds of things. There's basic fun, trivia, little games and things like that. And of course, finding the food and drink capability. This is, combined with nightlife, things that you will see that are local to you, and that's based on putting your address in the device. Now, there's also a full Google Translate feature on board this device, and calculators, converting units, things like that. But these are the basic features that you can go ahead and take advantage of on the Google Nest Hub Max. So if I want out of this screen, it's just a pull from the left to the right, and you will find that in general now with the device is that every time you pull, you kind of back out of the interface a little bit more. You can also pull down the menu here, and you can see lights, routines, media, the ability to broadcast, your thermostats, and cameras. Now, some of these options may not show up for you depending depending on what devices you have inside your home. But the lights capability and the routines capability should be there for just about everyone. The ability to view the rooms, I think this is one of the most useful screens you have because this mirrors the Google Home application itself. So you can see as you scroll up, now you have the ability to just see a summary, which was on this screen as well. But this little summary gives you access to all those icons again. And as you scroll throughout your different components or your different rooms in your home, you can see that you can control a lot of different things. So I can turn off those lights if I need to, and it does actually go through. Now, of course, you can always ask the Google Assistant to handle this. So turn off the bedroom lights.
Sure, turning 4 lights off.
Once you've controlled the devices, you can actually go into the different color palette here or the different color choices and manage your device this way if you'd like as well. Then you can also ask for any of these colors that they're showing you or a number of different colors from the maker. If you'd like, you can control the different lights individually, turn them on and off, and then work with them as a color as well. In terms of routines, you can ask for any routine to execute based on what you already have. So I could just use the wake word and say bedtime and it would execute that routine. But you can also go ahead and execute them here with your hands. The music capability allows you to go ahead and cast or start music on any one of your speakers. And you also have the ability to broadcast to all speakers in your home. This is just the ability to send a message. So,
What's the message?
hello everyone.
Okay, broadcasting now.
Hello everyone.
By the way, if you want to send a reply, just let me know.
Continuing on, the ability to adjust your thermostat is right here, and you can also go ahead and see any of the different Nest cams or connected cams that you have. So I could go ahead and tap on any of these and they show up on screen. So I'll just show you this one. Now there is a secondary interface that is actually very important. So this is the brightness management. So you can actually go ahead and turn off the ambient EQ if you'd like to leave the display in a certain brightness. But once you tap on that icon, it will adjust normally to your room. Additionally, there's volume control, and a little sneaky kind of hidden feature here is when you tap this little arrow, you actually have the ability to adjust the alarm sound level as well. And you can see that you can adjust this independently, or both of those independently of each other. Now this is a very important button. The mute microphone on the back here, that switch is the ability to turn off both the microphone and the camera with that switch. Now this allows you,
The camera is off.
as you can hear, to turn the camera off on the device only. So if that's what you're looking to do, that's how you do it.
The camera's back on.
Here's a do not disturb mode, which stops things like the broadcast from coming through or notifications from doorbells, things like that. So you can turn on do not disturb mode. It will stop almost everything coming out of this device. You also have the ability to turn on alarms using the interface. Of course, you can ask your Google Nest Hub Max to do the same. Set an alarm for 7:15 a.m.
Okay, your alarm's set for tomorrow at 7:15 a.m.
Finally, I've got to show you how to manage some of the settings on this device. So we're going to go through the settings, and then I'm going to show you how to set up the Nest camera that is physically on the device. Inside of the Google Home application, I'm going to scroll down to my device and tap into there. Now you can see the ability to adjust volume as well as view the Nest Cam down here at the bottom. Now, within the equalizer setting up at the top right is the ability to adjust your bass and treble levels. Inside of the device settings, you can see the linked account, the name, the device address, as well as the home and room and any groups that it's been added to. All of these things are adjustable as you just tap on the setting itself, and it will allow you to make that adjustment. Now, you can also scroll down and you get Wi-Fi settings, digital well-being is something that you will probably want to go through here, as well as the downtime setup here. Now, I'm not going to go through that fully on this video, but it allows you to basically filter out certain content and as well filter out certain notifications at times during the day. The equalizer also has another option here, and the group delay correction you would only do if you stick this in a group and then you're hearing some differential between the sound timing on there. Now, device settings in terms of the default speaker and default TV allow you, when you just ask for music to play, to pick a different speaker. Now, if you've paired a Bluetooth speaker, which you can just ask the Google Nest Hub Max to enable Bluetooth, you could choose that as your default speaker as well, although I don't know why you would with the Nest Hub Max. The default TV, this device is obviously very capable of playing TV, but if you have something like a Netflix account, which will not play on the Google Nest Hub Max, you'll probably want to go and choose one of your Chromecast devices as the default TV, or you can simply ask it to play Netflix on your Chromecast device. The alarms and timers right here, you can adjust the volume. You can also do that on display as you've seen before. The display as well, this is low light activation, the ability to actually turn off the screen in low light. So in the evenings, if it is bothering you, although it is a very dim screen in general, you can turn off that screen entirely, and you can even adjust down to minimum brightness. So there are quite a bit of adjustments here to customize the display to how you'd like to see it. Night mode allows you to reduce the volume of responses. So this is very simply, you can adjust the time and the days that it basically goes into a do not disturb mode, as well as really reducing the volume. So you can set that maximum volume quite low at night. Do not disturb mode just turns on do not disturb, the same as the visual interface does, or the bottom menu. You have the guest mode pin, which allows people who are not even on your Wi-Fi network to go ahead and cast or play music to that device. The photo frame, this is ambient mode, so you can come in here and adjust, and you didn't have this experimental option earlier, so you can go ahead and pick things like Facebook and have those display as part of the ambient mode. You can also see that you're able to show the weather, the time, and personal photo data like your name and the album name. Now, in terms of Google Photos integration, there's some additional options here to actually show pairs of Google Photos, and then also photo curation, and this feature sometimes bothers people, so I usually just leave it on all albums. You can also adjust how fast it's scrolling through the different pictures. Accessibility allows you to hear a start and an end sound. That's what a lot of people use to know whether or not the Google Assistant has heard them. It just adds a little beep on the front and end of any interaction with the voice assistant. On top of that, you can go into these different settings here for getting basically additional accessibility options for visual components of the device. Now, pairing Bluetooth devices is very simple from the interface here. You can enable the pairing mode, and then through your other device, you would actually connect to this display. So very easy in terms of a smartphone, going into your Bluetooth settings and then finding the device itself here. So I'll go into my Bluetooth settings, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you can see now that I've enabled the Basement Office, I can go ahead and tap, and now it becomes the audio interface for my smartphone. Now that I've done that, once I go back into the paired Bluetooth devices, the top device is the one that will default. Whenever you enable Bluetooth, that device will be instantly connected to. So the time format you can adjust from 12 hours to 24 if you'd like, and the preview program gives you the ability to get new features earlier. So I go ahead and always enroll in that, although sometimes it does introduce the odd bug to you. You can lower the volume when listening, let others control your cast media. So once people are on your Wi-Fi, they can control the casting that's already going on. This only works on Android devices. If you want to help improve the Nest Hub Max, that was a feature you did in setup, you can go ahead and do that. There's also the ability to adjust your recognition and personalization settings right here. So if you don't want to have voice match or face match, you can go ahead and remove those. As well, there's the home monitoring audio. So this is something specific to your device with the Nest Cam. So do you want to make the audio available with the Nest Cam while you're live streaming and recording? So you can still use the microphone on the device overall, but this stops it from going to the Nest service. You can also remove the device here. In terms of managing Google Duo, within the actual settings screen in the whole Google Home application, you will find your device. Within the device screen, you can actually see a number of settings. Again, you can adjust the device name if you'd like here, but the top 3 settings we've already seen in the other settings screen. The YouTube restricted mode allows you to stop things that are inappropriate, and you can content filter all the time. You also have the ability for duo calling, and this is how you can enable a feature called Knock Knock, which means you can hear the other person before you actually pick up and see the other person in some cases. You can also unlink Duo from this device. If you'd like to adjust the voice on your voice assistant inside the settings screen, you have the assistant option. And you can also adjust whether or not continued conversation is on for all your devices. You can see the basement office here is listed at the bottom. You also have the ability to manage your voice match and your face match features as well. Now, there's a second component to this that gets a little bit interesting to me. The Nest Cam is a secondary device that you have to set up individually. So you can see it up there with Set Up Nest Cam. Now, do you want it to do this? You don't have to actually set this up as a full-on Nest camera. And what I'll tell you is, once you do this, if you already have Nest services, this is going to cause the migration of your Nest account over to a Google account. You can't get around this. It will enforce that happening to you. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the setup. Just know that there is that impact here to you. Now, to scan the QR code, set up this device, that's what we need to do next here. And the Home app, again, it's asking for permission. So now you saw it, I just scanned the device really quickly there, and now it's connecting to this additional Nest device. Now, what's interesting about this is you're going to want the Nest application still. We're kind of in a transition period as we go here between Google and Nest, and really the elimination of the Works with Nest program. So now there's a little indicator on here, and this is a Nest standard. Whenever you're using a Nest camera now, there's a little green indicator light that is always on the camera whenever it's working. And when it's on and it's being viewed, you're going to see the light blink green. So keep that in mind here as you're working with this device. If someone is looking at it, then that little indicator is going to blink. Now, obviously, you can always turn off that device as well. So now it's going to basically take us over to the Nest application, and Nest Aware is a requirement if you want to utilize kind of the deeper features of a Nest Cam. So for the monitoring, the cloud-based recording, you want all of those things, you're going to need a Nest Aware account, but it is now in this Nest application. And that's where I say you're going to need it right now as an application on this same device. So now inside the Nest application, as it took us over there and they want us to go through the process in this application, you can tap on the new device that is shown up there. Now for you, you might have had to go through a couple of screens of basically getting your Google account into the application. You want to use that same account that you used over in the Google Home application. That's kind of synchronizing these two services at this point. So do you want this Nest Cam or to use this one with the Nest application? Yes, I'm going to choose that for now. Do you want to turn off this camera when you're at home? So what I'm going to do is, for now, I'm going to hit OK. I'm also going to allow it to hear what's going on in the live video. So we're just turning on all of these features that I've already put in. And so face detection, you saw me do that earlier in the Google Home application, but you had to do it separately for the Nest application previously. So now in the Nest application, you can actually go into some additional settings for the camera, and you can go down to the bottom. The basement office is what it's called right now because that's what I named the device. But now you have the ability to go through a number of different settings here. And you know, the big ones you might want to be aware of is the Nest Aware. You have a free trial that started here, but ultimately that's going to go away, and if you want the recordings to go to the cloud and you want to utilize that with your Nest camera on this device, then you're going to need to pay that subscription fee. You can also adjust the quality and bandwidth. I find the Nest cameras very heavy on my overall system bandwidth. So this is obviously not the end of the series on the Google Nest Hub Max. We're going to do a full review, and we're going to do some comparison reviews versus its competitors and the other products in the line. You can see some of them sitting over here. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, and until next time, don't hate, automate.